how important is it for a company to have control over or influence on the methodology of something like building? So in other words, if you want to take advantage of your digital capability and the ideas that you have in the outcomes of your industry, how much control over how buildings are built do you need to have an influence to basically say, all right, if we do it this way using our equipment, you could get these huge economies of scale, but if you're going to just do it your way and just buy our gadget off the shelves, you're not going to get that. How much influence do you have to have on the process to be able to innovate and have the advantages that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's a great question. And you know, we serve a lot of different industries, and the industries that we have that are very process-based, so if it's a mine site or if it's a quarry where it's a very structured process, you can put a lot of discipline and build a lot of efficiencies into those types of processes. You know, it's very measurable, so you can look at the different aspects of it, and you go attack that and put either, you know, more efficient machines, the right size machines and equipment, or technology at the job site level to be able to improve that. One of the challenges in construction, which is, you know, from our equipment, what most of you probably see every day is the construction equipment that sits on the road or on the job site or in, you know, prepping the dirt. There's no structured process around a lot of those construction job sites. That's more project-based, and it's a lot harder to be able to apply, you know, technologies and processes to improve the productivity. And if you really look at the construction industry, the productivity has not gone up. You know, over the last decade or two.
Who's going to change that? Is it a consortium of businesses like Caterpillar and contractors that are going to change that? I mean, because certainly there have been huge incremental change or huge revolutionary changes in construction. If you're talking about framed iron buildings, reinforced concrete buildings, I mean, those things really transformed the industry. How is it going to happen, you know, going forward?
Well, I think just the digital technology that's available, the information that's available today, to be able to monitor at the job site level. You know, one of the things that we as a company, you know, for the past probably 15 years have focused on is if we're going to implement a technology for a customer, it's going to change a business process for that customer, which means we can't do it just for our machinery. So right away, as we start to implement any technology, it has to be mixed fleet, because we go to a contractor and we tell them this is how you should maintain your equipment, or this is how you should use GPS to be able to build, you know, a road or a golf course or a job site. They don't all have CAT equipment as much as we'd like them to, so we've got to be able to have strategies to help mixed fleet and help the customer's whole fleet. So that job site approach is a big part of it. And then I think, and this is going to happen in rooms like this and all over the world, as people start to look at the data flow of those job sites, and we're breaking it down all the way from design and build through when we really get involved with our equipment all the way to maintain, and the ability to kind of integrate the information all the way across that process is what's really going to take it up a level. But it is companies having to work together. You know, it's working and partnering with other companies that do the actual design side with the right sizing of equipment and being able to do the right measurement side of it. So it's going to take a lot of collaboration within the industry. But I also think that the technologies that are available and a lot of the ideas that are coming from startups are going to help us manage things and monitor things at a job site level that we haven't been able to do.
How much is proprietary sort of IT and IP an inhibitor to that kind of cooperation that Tom's talking about, Mike?
Well, I think it's a great point. A good follow-on to that, actually, because what I was thinking about as part of follow-up to Tom's point is I totally agree. It's about collaboration, but one of the biggest hindrances to collaboration is people want control. Whether it's about a large company working with a startup or large companies working with each other, and I think what Tom's talking about with this kind of collaboration isn't the industry standard-setting consortium. This is about commercially driven partnering and co-creating, where you're inventing things together. IP is always a challenge there. All that said, you look at where things have come in the past 10 years with open innovation. It's not that risk isn't still there. It's just that the cost benefit has changed. If you aren't doing that, if you aren't taking the risk in terms of maybe we're going to share the IP, maybe you lose a little bit of control, you can have a lot of your IP, but ultimately you're left out of the party. So ultimately it is about companies learning that they need to give up control. There are ways to structure your co-invention in ways that you're doing it in a tiered approach, like first you sign NDAs, then you just share information at a basic level. You don't get to co-development and co-invention until later, but once you do, you truly do have to partner. The good news is a lot of companies are figuring it out and doing it.
Jake?
And I think the what happens in most industries, and if you can kind of look back, and you saw it in the automotive industry, very, very stagnant around innovation for a long period of time. Then you had disruptors like lean manufacturing and Toyota coming into the industry. You look at now what Tesla's doing. Look at steel industry, the construction industry, and infrastructure is one that is going to start to experience pretty disruptive changes. We aspire to be one of those companies. You can see what's happening kind of in different delivery models of what this happened in the solar industry. You can see it in Uber, you can see it in WeWorks. You're starting to see business models change. And then what happens in those industries is they move very, very rapidly because there's no longer a choice, right? The industries no longer can just sit back and kind of, not pay attention to innovation. There's no choice.
And bring it back to the IP.
And that's where, go ahead.
Let's bring it back to the IP discussion. I think Tesla's a great example because Tesla took their patent portfolio and opened it up. And they basically said, we don't need the patents because we believe that this whole industry learning to do this well is where we need to go. I think that kind of shows that it's more about the relationships than it is about the technology. And if all you're worried about is the technology, you're going to lose.